All right, everybody, welcome in. We are just barely getting started. We're going to be going and talking about autism today. If you're in here, it is because you have some connection to autism or because you're interested in learning about it. And so, if you are a parent of a child with autism, if you have autism, if you think your child might have autism, this is the place that we want you to be. Good morning, Ange. Good to see you. Good to see you. All right, everybody. We are going to be getting started here momentarily. Thank you all for coming in. If you are new here, a little bit about what we have going on. Hello, Destiny, is that we talk about autism every single day. We go live at around noon Eastern time for a couple of hours, and we tell each other stories. We learn together, we laugh together, and we answer questions. Now, something also to keep in mind is that we have a daily segment of this live where we talk about news of the day about autism. And I have a really cool article that I want to share. It's a more positive one this time. That once we get to 20,000 likes, if you guys can be tapping on that screen, then we can go ahead and get started with the news of the day. But before then, we'll just be answering questions. So let me finish getting some things set up here. How's everyone doing today? Someone says, I was diagnosed at a very young age, but I'm showing signs of OCD. Is that normal in autistic kids? Yes, there is. It is fairly common to have comorbid autism and OCD diagnoses. And so absolutely, I for sure recommend, I don't know if you're seeing a therapist, but therapy is great for OCD, and that is absolutely something that I recommend. All right, everybody. If you're just coming in here, let me know where you're from. Put your location in the chat as far as what city you're in, or not city, what state you're in, or what country you're in. I want to see who we have in here. Where are you guys from? What state are you in, or what country are you in? Let me know. That guy, you're in Utah? I'm in Utah. I'm in Utah. That guy, what part of Utah are you from? I love Utah. Love being here. Jamaica, England, Texas, Mexico. Leedy, that's amazing. You're down in St. George. I used to live in Hurricane. That's great. I went to school at SUU down there. I lived in Hurricane. And yes, if you are not from the area, it is pronounced Hurricane, not hurricane, though it is spelled like hurricane. So Latvia, Netherlands, Sydney, Australia, the UK, wonderful. Thank you guys for coming in. Pennsylvania, very cool, very cool. And what brings you guys in here? Are you an autism parent? Do you have autism? Are you just here to learn? Let me know. California, Ange, very cool. Yeah, that guy, easiest way to tell if someone is a local. Yeah, yep. That's right. Well, I sure love the St. George area. Man, that's a nice place. Unfortunately, Alabama. Hey, nothing's wrong with Alabama. What do you mean, unfortunately, Destiny? I guess it's no Utah. It's no Utah. I guess you are struggling to get some services there. Arizona. Oh, that guy says I have a nonverbal 8-year-old boy. Wonderful. I love that. Everything is wrong with you. Don't like Alabama and you live there? Oh my gosh. Pippa says, I'm a support worker for adults with autism and intellectual disabilities. Pippa, that's amazing. Are you you're a DSP? Are you a direct support professional, Pippa? And where are you from, Pippa? Where do you work? I'm curious. Very cool. A little bit about myself, you guys. So, oh, Destiny, you're stuck here. My husband is owned by the government. Hey, at least he's here and he's not abroad right now, so that is a good thing. A good thing that he is not deployed. Grateful for that for you. A little bit about me. A little bit of an introduction. I live in Utah. I have 2 children diagnosed with autism. I have a 3.5-year-old and I have a 1.5-year-old. And I am not diagnosed with autism, but I do have a huge interest in autism. So I've worked with people with autism since 2013. I have a master's degree in autism studies, and I run a company in Utah that we have a few clinics. We're just opening our 4th clinic in the state of Utah to provide services to people with autism. And so that's what we do here, you guys. We go live every day. It's my favorite part of my day is coming on live and having conversations with all of you guys. Pippa says, from the UK, I'm a positive behavior support worker, team leader. Oh, Pippa, wonderful, wonderful in the UK. I don't know the whole system in the UK, but Orange says, why doesn't autism count as a learning disability? For me, it really limits my possibilities. Orange, Pippa is absolutely, autism is absolutely a disability, okay? It has protections under the ADA in the United States. It is by all medical, clinical, and educational senses a disability. Now, two things can be true. I know as parents, we don't like to say that. We don't like to say that it's a disability. But I want you to be aware that two things can be true at the same time. It can be a disability, and it can also be a beautiful thing that we recognize the differences and the incredible things that autism can bring. I love my children so much, and I love the way that their brain works. I love that they, the order that their brain craves. I think that's a really huge strength of theirs. But they also need support. The moment we say that to be diagnosed with autism, it has to impact your daily life. And denying that it's a disability denies the support that people with autism truly need, which can include therapies and services and various supports throughout their life. Okay. Oh, Orange. Okay, but specifically a learning disability. Got it. Yeah, I think it's because it's more than just how someone learns, right? It's so much, Orange, of who a person is, All right, what other questions? Is it normal to have rage under transition pressure? Yes. Okay, so something that you may see with a child with autism is that transitions are really hard. They crave familiarity. They crave stability. And transitions disrupt that. Absolutely. Yes. Thank you for asking that. At 46 years old, I have just been diagnosed as neurodivergent. Not sure what to do with the info. Oh, Dopif, what diagnosis is that? Is that autism, ADHD? What were you diagnosed with? And to me, here's why many adults benefit from having a diagnosis. The first thing is that you have struggled your entire life. Destiny, you're going crazy with those roses. My gosh. Thank you for the roses, Destiny. I really appreciate it. It gets things going here. I really appreciate that. Melissa, hello. Good to see you. Autism, you were just diagnosed with autism, Dopif? Okay, look, what to do with that information. If you're an adult, you were just diagnosed with autism, the biggest thing that can do for you is it can tell you, one, that your concerns and how you have been feeling your entire life is valid. The feeling that you have had to work 10 times harder than everybody else in social situations or to be able to understand norms that other people weren't understanding, to get through the day without, melting down, without having struggles. I mean, it is extremely validating to know that you have gotten this far in life despite this struggle, and that struggle is valid. So that can help. That can help for sure. The other thing is it can inform the approach to therapy. So now that you know that you have autism, now you know that you should be able to go and find somebody who specializes in helping people with autism. I recommend if you're an adult and fully conversation, I recommend mental health therapy as a really strong frontline therapy to support people with autism. Oh, Destiny, thank you for sharing that. Do we have some people wondering about early signs of autism? Okay, Melissa, my 3-year-old managed dinner at a busy restaurant with no meltdown for first time last night. Melissa, we're going to get to celebrations. That is amazing. Absolutely amazing. Destiny, so some things, if you have a child diagnosed or not diagnosed with autism, but you're thinking they might have autism, here, let me ask you this. Put 1 in the chat if you have a child diagnosed with autism, but put 2 in the chat if you have a child that you suspect has autism. 2, if you have a child that you suspect has autism, or you suspect that you have autism. So 1 is that you already have the clarity and diagnosis. 2 is you are still trying to seek out that clarity. Okay, a lot of 1s and a lot of 2s, you guys. Hello, Lexi. I see you coming in there. Thank you for being here. Okay, so let me kind of break this down for you. So if you are a 2, let's talk about some of these early signs, and then we're going to get into some celebrations. Also, as a reminder, everybody, if you are just coming in, once we are at 20,000 likes, we go through the daily news of the day. And so be tapping on that screen. I'm actually really pumped about what the news story is today. It's a positive one, you guys. It's a wonderful news story. Be tapping on that screen. Let's get to 20,000 likes so that we can go through that. Okay, so here is what we, for early signs. I want you guys to know, what were some of the earliest signs that your child had autism? If you put number 1 in the chat, and your child already is diagnosed with autism, what were some of the first signs? Let's help these number 2s out, you guys. What were some of the first things that you noticed? What are some of the earliest signs that we can tell with kids with autism? And some of these things you might not be thinking about as a parent, and you might dismiss and say, all kids do this. So some of those things are that I noticed with my child was a fixation on lights. That was probably the earliest, the absolute earliest sign, was that, even at like 6 months of age, just like always wanting to stare at the lights. And so, but that's not the only sign of autism, obviously. Some of the other things that we started seeing is failing to respond to the name. Usually kids learn to respond to their name around the age of 6 months. And my son is 3.5 and still rarely responds to his own name. Delays in communication. Some other things are, at around the age of 1, 9 months to age 1, you should be able to point at something and your baby should look where you're pointing, or your baby should start pointing. And those are things that should be happening. We have a question over here. Actually, before I do that, if you are concerned that your child might have autism, I want to recommend that you look in my bio, you do the MChat for your child if they're a toddler. This is what pediatricians use at 18 months and 24 months when you go to a pediatrician's appointment. It's just a free assessment. It's out there that you can do, and it tells you if your child has low, moderate, or high risk of autism based on how you score that assessment. Okay, Caitlin says, my almost 3-year-old has started removing his pants and diaper. We are waitlisted for OT and ABA. This is over on, I can't say the name of this out loud, you guys, because it will impact my stream here, but it is over on the YT platform. And I do prioritize those comments that are over there, just so you guys know. Just because the following isn't as good, it's kind of harder to get people over there. And so be sure you're subscribing, and I will respond over there. So over there on the YT platform, Caitlin says, my almost 3-year-old has started removing his pants and diaper. We are waitlisted for OT and ABA. How do I know if this is a sign for potty training readiness or sensory issues? Oh, Caitlin, what a good question. What a good question. Okay, you're waitlisted for OT and ABA. That is hard. That is so hard. Okay, there are other signs of your child being ready for toileting. Removing the diaper is hard too. What we had to do, look, I had something very similar. With my son, this is going to be sharing some personal info here. I hope you're ready for it. But this is what we do on this channel. I share personal things sometimes. But my son, 6 months to a year ago, I don't remember exactly when, he started kind of doing that, taking off his pants. But he was digging in to his diaper after he would poop. and he would get in there. And I think this is something a lot of parents deal with, and sometimes we're a little bit embarrassed to talk about it. But what we ended up doing is we ended up putting him in onesies. We weren't ready to potty train him. He might be ready. His body might want that because that would be easier than digging into it. But we're not ready because it's a lot of work to fully toilet train a kid with autism. And we are going to do it, and we're going to do it pretty soon. But we put him in onesies. And so we ordered larger onesies, and we still to this day, it just looks like he has his shirt tucked in because we put a onesie on him, then we put pants on him, and that way he can't get into his diaper there. Okay, let's go ahead and continue to answer some questions. Stormy says, my son is very aggressive. How would you handle that? My son is level 2 nonverbal. How old is your son? Guys, put yes in the chat if your child with autism engages in any behavior that is concerning to you. Put yes in the chat. I hope you know that just about every parent has a child with autism who engages in some sort of behavior that's concerning, whether it's aggression, skin picking, elopement. There are so many behaviors that our child might engage in. And so, and as soon as you figure one out, there's going to be a new behavior that you need to look at. And so the very first thing is part of this autism journey is building your care team of experts. That way, when you have a problem behavior that you need help with, you have a behavior analyst at your disposal that you can talk through this with, or an occupational therapist or a speech therapist, professionals who work with kids with autism that have seen this day in, day out to be able to support you. Now, what should you do? Or what are they going to do to help you address that behavior? Well, you can actually learn some of this. Part 4 of the autism journey that I talk about is you learning how to do these things. And one of the big things to learn is how do you handle problem behaviors? And it's not as simple as like tell them no, right? Like that doesn't work. In fact, my son, I tell him no and he laughs at me. And so what you have to do is you have to look at what is your child trying to communicate or get out of that problem behavior, and what is a skill that we can teach them to replace that. So if your child is becoming aggressive because whenever you tell them no, they can't have a snack because we're about to eat dinner, right? Then your child might be engaging in that problem behavior with the function of accessing an item to eat at the wrong time or something. Well, what is a skill? Well, we're going to teach your child how to first. One skill is we're going to teach them how to communicate what they want vocally, or through a picture exchange system, or an AAC device, or sign. And then we're also going to work on later down the road how to tolerate no. That's a separate skill. And so it's breaking down why is the child engaging in the problem behavior, and what is a skill that we need to work on to replace that behavior. All right, you guys, what are some other questions we have? My best friend's son is nonverbal. Oh my gosh, I love that. Haley, are you a parent? Yes. So I have 2 kids with autism. I have a 3.5-year-old and I have a almost 2-year-old, I guess, diagnosed with autism. I also have two other kids that are not diagnosed with autism that are older. But we a little bit more about me. And I'll go through this every 15, 20 minutes because I know we get new people coming in, especially early on in the live. But we go live every day for about 2 hours. I'm just an autism advocate, you guys. I have my 2 kids with autism. I have a master's degree in autism studies. I run a company that serves people with autism. And in my off time, like I learn about autism. That's my whole life. I just love learning and talking about and advocating for autism. Guys, I have a big celebration. I want to hear some celebrations. What are some celebrations about your kids? What do we have to celebrate? Melissa, I saw your comment about your celebration of going to the restaurant. I love that without a major issue. That is amazing. What are some celebrations, you guys? What are some celebrations that you have about your child? I have one, and it kind of has to do with my child, but also on a personal level. I scheduled to meet with one of our senators here in Utah. I'm going on Monday to meet with him to go and talk about accessing autism care in Utah. That there are some things insurance companies are doing, making it really hard for families to get into therapies that they need. And so I have some ideas and recommendations that I'm working with a senator on, and he agreed to meet with me. So Monday I'm going to meet with him. That's something I'm always working with politics at some level to try to enact change and advocate for people with autism. So that's a big celebration. What celebrations do you guys have? My daughter ate something that wasn't a safe food for her yesterday. Oh my gosh, congratulations, Catherine. Yeah, my son did something weird the other day that we just put broccoli on his plate. He never eats it. And he ate all the broccoli on his plate. He just surprised us one day. That wasn't his safe food, and he just ate it. Okay, other celebrations. My son is using 3 to 4 word mans. Pick me up, please. He is 3, mostly nonverbal. Pandita, that's amazing. Oh my gosh. 3 to 4 word mans. And I love that you know the word man. Are you a professional in this? How do you know man? Is that just picking up the lingo that ABA is using? I love that. We took my kids on the Polar Express and they had a blast. They did really well. Stormy, congratulations. My autistic twins went skating for the first time yesterday, 4 years old. Whoa. Wonderful, wonderful. My kid didn't eat very well. Oh, I'm sorry. Yaha says, on Sunday, my son told me he is being bullied by his 2 friends. Oh, Yaha. I'm sorry, Yaha. I mean, it's a celebration that he vocalized that to you. But absolutely frustrating and devastating to hear that. Okay, some other comments. Chocolate Sheep says, finally getting my eldest off nappies and using the toilet, braving the hand dryers and public toilet. Chocolate Sheep, that's amazing. Getting potty trained is a big deal. Jordan says, my daughter is very smart and good with speech, but she is being violent towards teachers, not at home. Oh, interesting. Okay. Yaha asks, can I ask if your kids are homeschooled or public school? We go to public school. Yep. My daughter enjoyed her time at Disney, seeing the parades and fireworks. Oh, beautiful. That's so good. My daughter has been sitting in circle time for 20 minutes with her class. That's a big celebration. Pandita, he's in ABA therapy. Great. Nessie says, how do you help with water and food obsession? Look, the good thing is like drinking water and eating food are both necessary for life. And so it's a good obsession to have, but it can be taken too far. Nessie, I would need more info for sure on what is going on. You feel free to comment that. If I miss it again, feel free to hop over to the YT platform that I can't say out loud. That's linked in my bio, and I'll be sure to comment. Okay, we are at 9,000 likes, you guys. As soon as we get to 20,000 likes, I will go through the autism news of the day. Okay, 80 says, are there ways to prevent autism in pregnancy? Okay, let's talk about that. What causes autism? What is the cause of autism? It's a big conversation. It's a really big conversation, one that's controversial. There are a lot of things that that we know about this. Sometimes people think that they'll say, "Oh, we don't know what causes autism," and what's true is that we know that it's not one thing that causes autism, that there are a lot of factors, and we know a lot of those factors. And so it's not a complete mystery, but it's just not caused by one single thing. So what do we know? We know it's largely genetic. We know that up to 80 to 90% of autism is just the way that the genes played out. So what about the other 10 to 20%? There are a lot of environmental factors, all of which happen either during pregnancy or birth, that can impact the likelihood that your child will have autism. What are some of those things? One of them is parental age. What age, especially the father, if the father is over the age of 40 before pregnancy, before conception, we know there's an increased risk of autism. What else? We know that there are pollutants, such as from automobiles or wildfire smoke, that when breathed in extensively during pregnancy can increase the risk for autism. We know that there are infections that the mother has during pregnancy that can make it more likely that the child has autism. And premature birth can also be correlated with autism. Now, these are risk factors. And that is, that I probably missed some. But the interesting thing is I know of no risk factors for autism that happen after a baby is born. And so, toxins or heavy metals or vaccines, we do know, or gut health, we know those are not things that have caused autism in your child. They're not the risk factors like those during pregnancy. So, Mr. Baby, just address that with the vaccines. So, all right, we have another comment over on the YT platform. I'm going to go ahead and read it. Adriana says, my son is almost 3 and is being diagnosed with autism. I still don't know what level, but he's obsessed with water, wants to be touching, playing in water. Any chance he gets diagnosed, I'm wondering. Okay, Adriana, my biggest recommendation, if you're already going through the diagnosis process, you're doing the right thing. Now, obsession with water alone is not necessarily always a sign of autism. A lot of neurotypical kids love water. But we do know that one of the diagnostic criteria for autism is special interests, things that are, items or different things that our kids tend to obsess over. And water can be one of those things. But there are a lot of other signs of autism, like not looking where you're pointing or not pointing themselves or not responding to their name, delayed communication, things like that. If you really want to do the MCHAT and see the risk level, you can check my bio. I do want to say, though, the water thing and the obsession with water seems to be a common factor. I learned something the other day. Well, we know that kids with autism, and guys, this is a hard thing to hear, so trigger warning here. The leading cause of unaliving for children with autism is drowning. We know that autistic kids are up to 160 times more likely to drown than their neurotypical peers. 160 times. Every time I say that, it terrifies me, you guys. A lot of kids have this fascination with water, and then there's also the elopement and wandering issue. And those two things combined really increases the risk. Catherine, you were there in the water safety webinar. I love that. Guys, we recorded it. We're working on getting it out there so that people can watch it. But water safety is such a big deal, you guys. Such a big deal. Oh my gosh. So please be mindful of this. It is not optional. Look, when I talk about the parts of the autism journey, the first part of the journey is building your village. You need to have a village there ready to help. The second part is getting clarity with the diagnosis. The third part is building your care team. These are the therapies you're going to get. The fourth part is where you are learning and all you can about autism to support your child. In that part, in this fourth part of the journey, I always recommend swimming lessons for your autistic child, focusing on water safety. There's some other things that you can be doing during that time. It's not a therapy, but it is something that will protect them and keep them safe. Adriana, also over on the YT platform, says, I just did the MChat and got 14. That is very high, Adriana. That you did the right thing, scheduling an evaluation. That is a high score on the MChat. I think it's, what is it, over 7 or over 9 or something is considered high risk. I'll have to go back and look at it. But the MChat is found in my bio, or you could Google it. There's a lot of places you can do the MChat for free. But I link it in my MChat. The MChat is just a pre-screener for toddlers for autism. Nikki, my 16-year-old was just diagnosed. Any advice would be greatly appreciated. Nikki, oh my goodness, at the age of 16. Okay, so it sounds like, Nikki, is it safe to say that was she diagnosed with level 1? Usually if we see them diagnosed later in life, they have lower support needs. But I do have advice for you, Nikki. The first one is there may be some grieving going on of what that means. And I, first of all, want to say that an autism diagnosis, the stigma and label around it, does not prevent your child from being the best version of themselves. In fact, it opens the door to allow them to do so. But still, give yourself space and time to breathe, to digest what that diagnosis is. Yes, level 1. Okay. Something to also keep in mind, if they're just diagnosed at the age of 16, they're diagnosed level 1, something to be on the lookout for is a PDA profile, pathological demand avoidance. We'll talk about that at some point today for sure. Guys, we're at 17,000 likes. As soon as we get to 20,000, I'll go through the news of the day. Be tapping on that screen to get us there, you guys. She struggles mostly socially. Nikki, yeah. Okay, look, where you're at now that you have clarity, Nikki, the next part of this journey is deciding who is going to be on your child's care team. Now that you have an autism diagnosis, who is part of that support? And that can be school, so make sure you get your IEP going to see what support that your daughter can get at school. You need to identify what other kinds of support and therapy are going to be helpful. Now, if you feel like ABA could be helpful, ABA, you'd have to find someone who specializes in teens, especially level 1 teens. But yeah, in Utah, we have a clinic that focuses primarily on teens and adults. And we've done things like working on like dating and learning some of these social skills that are so critical to teens that most ABA providers don't really think about because they're dealing with, 2-year-olds, which we do as well. But so ABA therapy is an option, but really at age 16, level 1, one of the biggest resources you're going to have is mental health therapy. I don't know if you've started that, if she has started attending therapy, but that can be a huge resource, is going to therapy, especially if there's social anxiety with some of her social struggles that she has. Okay. All right, everybody. We just got to 20,000 likes. Before I do the news of the day, let me just go ahead and answer one more question that came through over on YT. Again, I do prioritize all comments over on that platform. So be sure you're subscribing over there. Let's see. Adriana says, any advice for a new autistic mom for patience and understanding him to help him? Please, no judgment. Look, if your child, just know the MChat does not diagnose, and you're going through the diagnosis process, Adriana, and you are spot on that You need patience. One of the best things that you can do that I can recommend for patience is building empathy towards your child. Us autism parents, you need to view your child not as an obstacle or a task, but as someone who is experiencing something extremely challenging. For just some empathy building here, we can do a little bit of an exercise, and then we'll jump into the news of the day. But think of a child with autism as being overwhelmed at all times with sensory input. This is a very common experience a lot of kids with autism have. So I want you to think right now, like, does the tag on the back of your shirt bother you right now? Can you feel it? Can you feel the socks and the seam on your socks right now on your feet? Can you feel the wind slightly blowing on your arm? Can you hear the ceiling fan going on above your head? A lot of kids, they have their brain has pruned out all those neural connections, those neural pathways. And so we don't pay attention to what our clothes feel like. Our brain doesn't worry about that. It worries about the most important things. Kids with autism, quite often, their brains have pruned differently to where those connections are all firing at the same time. They are hearing and feeling so much all at once. That's a very common experience. And when we understand that and feel that, it really helps build some empathy towards what they might be going through. Biscotti commented on this on the YT platform. The tag doesn't bother me because I take them out. There you go. All right, you guys, news of the day. We got some positive news going on. Guys, I am so excited about this one. Why? Because it is about something local for me that I had no idea was going on, and I am proud of these kids doing this. So I live in a little town called Santaquin in Utah. The town next to me is called Payson. Now that's where our local high school is. That's the high school my children will go to if we still live here. And there's an article that just came out about Payson high school students have started training future service dogs. Now, why am I talking about this when it comes to autism and autism news? Well, many of these service dogs are going to children with autism. And this is a huge commitment. These high school students, now there are 25 dogs being trained, most of which are being trained by people at this high school. It's a nonprofit coming out of California, and the high school kind of connected with them. And it's these high school kids that are taking these puppies on from 8 weeks, and they're going to have them until they're 15 months old. This is a year commitment, over a year commitment of helping these little dogs. And they're taking them to school with them. They're taking them on, they're living life as a kid so that they can be ready to go and experience life with kids with autism who go to school every day. And so this is completely volunteer. And these kids, they're losing sleep. They're not going on different activities because they are responsible for these Labradors to help take care of them. Very, very heartwarming story that it's such a commitment for them to work on training these service dogs. So I've been looking, and I want to just talk a little bit about service dogs. Anyone here have a service dog? Not a therapy dog, not an emotional support animal, but an actual trained service dog for their child with autism. Let me know in the chat if you do. Put yes in the chat if you have a therapy dog. Not therapy dog, a service dog. So there is a difference between a service dog and a emotional support animal. Okay, there is a difference. An emotional support animal is like, hey, my son might benefit from having a dog around him. It might make him feel comfortable and be therapeutic for him. But a service dog has to be specifically trained to complete different tasks. Now, to be clear, there's not an official service dog training or certification that they have to get. You'll see like online certifications that are kind of like, you don't have to have paperwork for them. There's no paperwork in the United States for service dogs. You can call any dog a service dog if they're properly trained, but that training can be expensive. If you don't get it from a nonprofit that gives it to you highly subsidized, you're looking at paying $20,000 to $40,000 in fees to get them trained over several years, so that they can provide those therapeutic services to your child. And so, what can a service dog do for a child with autism? I've been learning all about this of what they can do. And let me break down some of these things that a service dog can do. So a service dog is able to, here are some of the things. The first one is deep pressure therapy. So the dog can be trained to lay across the child's lap, chest, or legs on command or when sensing distress. Man, how cool would that be? They can sense that your child is starting to become overwhelmed or overstimulated, and deep pressure therapy of a dog laying across your child when they sense that your child needs that is something your dog can be trained to do. Number 2, elopement or wandering prevention. So what you can do now, this is what would help my child a lot. Imagine this: your dog is trained so that they can, almost like a guide dog for someone who is blind, they can be tethered to your child. So your child has, a strap, and it's tethered to the dog, and the dog knows to stay with you and to keep your child safe, and your child can't go wandering in public. The dog is going to be staying close to you. That is a service dog. That is a trained service dog that can do that. That would be amazing. Absolutely amazing. Like I could actually go in public with that, right? Like I wouldn't be turning down all of these different activities or opportunities for my child if, they could walk with the service dog. Oh my gosh, it would be amazing. Stops moving or resists if the child tries to bolt. So if the child tries to run away, the dog can, resist and make it so the child doesn't go there. Okay, the dog can alert or distress when they're alert to distress or escalation. So they can recognize early signs of distress. They can nudge, paw, or lick the child to interrupt escalation, or can alert the caregiver that the child is dysregulated. A dog can be trained to track or locate a child if they do elope. That would be another big one. If your child does frequently elope, you can train a dog to be able to go and find the child. Those are some of the biggest things. But keep in mind that it's hard to find service dogs. It's hard to, you're going to be on long wait lists unless you're paying out of pocket for it. That's something I've been thinking a lot about. Of how do we change that? That seems like such a beneficial thing to a lot of our kids with autism. So here's the thing: is you can train the dog yourself. You can find courses online of how to train the dog. You can put them through. It's going to take a long time though, and then it's essentially free. However, to go and have someone else train the dog and then introduce them to your child and have a good clean handoff, and they're trained to do all those things, you're talking about up to $40,000 to pay out of pocket, and insurance doesn't pay for it. Insurance doesn't pay for it usually. I have 2 kids with autism, but my 8-month-old has started stimming. Oh, Haley. Okay. Yeah. When you have one child with autism, the likelihood your next is going to have autism is a little higher. And so, yeah. Oh, my twins are in the 90th percentile in height. I would need a hound dog for them. Yeah, you need a big one. You need a big dog to make it so they couldn't move. Be True says, yeah, you can train them yourself, but that does not make him a service animal. Read the requirements. Be True, they have to be trained to complete a specific task. You can train them to do that. You don't have to be certified. There's no paperwork that you get for a service animal. They just have to be specifically trained to complete a task. And it is extremely hard to do that. I don't recommend people just say that they're going to train their own service animal. That's not something that is realistic that most people can do. But what you can do is this hybrid approach that's a lot cheaper, that you can get a service dog. You can hire a professional trainer to come in and, it's a service animal in training for a couple years, but it's in your home during that time, and you're paying someone to come, every week or something to train your dog. Lisa says it takes a lot of dedication and training hours to train your own service dog. Yeah, it is. It is extremely challenging to do that. I don't recommend people just do that. If you're already overwhelmed with a child with autism, you do not need a dog to add into this mix or a puppy to add into the mix. It's not going to make your life easier to start with. Yeah, exactly. There's a key word: you're paying and not the insurance company. How many can afford that? Exactly. Yeah, that is so frustrating. I wish insurance would cover that. Okay, we have some comments over here. Let's see. Adriana, I'm glad you found my page too. Thank you for commenting over there on the YT platform. And Biscotti, I love it too. I wish, she said, or Biscotti says, I wish we looked into it years ago, and it takes years for you to acquire one. Very expensive too. Yeah, it's a lot of work, you guys. And it's like, in 2 years, is my child still going to need it? I don't know. I know what my child needs right now. I don't know what my child is going to need in 2 years when a service animal would be available. Lisa says, I worked with a professional trainer, which costs money as well, for 2 full years. Oh, Lisa, do you have a service animal, Lisa? Is it for autism? What is the service animal for? I love that. Okay, what is the service animal for? Is it for autism? Is it for your child? Yeah, Be True says, another thing you need to consider is the upkeep of the animal. Insurance isn't going to pay for that. Yeah, there's expenses to it. Oh, diabetic alert. Amazing, Lisa. Okay, that is so cool. Dogs are incredible. Oh, Casey says, there's a gentleman on this app I follow whose daughter has one, and he shows it looking for her. Oh, man. It is amazing to see what those service dogs can do. All right, you guys. What other questions do we have? I'm curious, who here is seeing me for the first time? Did I come across anyone's For You page for the first time? Put FYP in the chat if I just barely came across your For You page for the first time. I would love to see who is just barely discovering me today. I know that some days a lot of people come in, other times it's a lot of my own followers. I just love seeing this. So, okay, a lot of people. Yeah, welcome in if you're here for the first time, you guys. Luli, I see you. Rabaya, Aston, hello. A dude doing stuff, hello. Vicky, Nikki, Hearts. Andrea, Gina, Nikki, thank you guys for being here. Thank you so much. Just be sure that you hit me a follow too so that you can see next time I go live. We talk about autism every day. I'm an autism parent. I have 2 kids with autism, 2 other kids not diagnosed with autism. And I am a board certified behavior analyst. I have a master's degree in autism studies. And I run a company in Utah that provides services to people with autism. So that's what we do here. All right, over on the YT app, we have some more questions and comments. I do prioritize those right now. 123 says, my son's mom passed when he was 1. He's almost 3. I'm getting him tested on the 30th. Oh my gosh. Sorry, 123. Anytime I hear about losing a spouse or losing, the child's parent, it breaks my heart. 123, we're here for you. We're a village here. And you're doing the absolute best thing, getting him tested. Thank you for sharing that. And know that we're here for you. 1, 2, 3. Katie Bowman says, is it normal for my level 1 autistic son to shut down and cry when he does something he shouldn't, like throwing something across the room? He is calmly told, no, we cannot do that. Okay. Look, every child reacts differently to being told no. Let me tell you what my son does. Guys, tell me in the chat, let me tell you what my son does, and then I want people to tell me if your child reacts more like mine or more like Katie's. Because my son, when I tell him no, he giggles at me. He laughs. He doesn't understand what no means, and it tends to reinforce problem behavior. Katie says that her son shuts down and cries when they are calmly told no. So put 1 in the chat if your child is closer to how mine reacts. Put 2 in the chat if yours is closer to Katie. Katie, I'll let you know what's more normal for you. Okay, 1 in the chat if it's more like my son who laughs. 2 if they respond heavily to saying no, that it kind of impacts them. 1 or 2. All right, we got a couple 1s, we got a couple 2s. It looks pretty even split. Every child just kind of has their own way of handling that kind of feedback. Absolutely. Yeah. Both. Melissa says both. My daughter screams at her teacher, but I notice how much sleep she gets does affect her. Oh, yes. Guys, sleep. Oh, my gosh. We haven't talked about sleep very much. So sleep and autism. If your child struggles to sleep in the night, put sleep in the chat. I want to know who all has a child who struggles to sleep. This is common as well. A lot of kids with autism. What ends up happening is there's research that suggests that kids with autism aren't able to fully tune out the noise of the world and get into deep sleep as easily as neurotypical kids. How I was sharing earlier that they hear everything going on around them all at once. Their brain doesn't tune out the irrelevant stimuli. And that applies while they're sleeping as well. And it can really impact them. It can disrupt the sleep. How many hours of sleep did y'all get last night? How many hours of sleep did we get? Guys, I got 7 hours. I'm feeling pretty good. I got 7 hours last night. Oh my gosh. Over on YT, Adriana says that she's struggling with it. At times I go to sleep at 4 or 5 a.m. How many hours of sleep did y'all get? Be True is the winner here. Got 10 hours of sleep. I love that. We need to prioritize sleep. So what do we do? What do we do, you guys? How do we support sleep in our children? You have 2 levers that you can pull to support your child with sleep. Okay. The first one is with behavioral interventions of doing things like creating a schedule, and I'll talk about some more details. The second thing is through medication. If you talk to your pediatrician, there are supplements and medications that can support. It can include things like melatonin, magnesium, clonidine for more challenging cases. But then for more of the behavioral strategy of how we can support a good sleep schedule, we always recommend building a really good bedtime routine. We recommend, maybe you always do bath time, pajamas, read a book, brush teeth, go get in bed. But then there's one trick that I do recommend. And that is and you might not have thought of this before, but what I do with my child is we have a light that indicates when he needs to be in bed. So when it is red, and by the way, he is able to get out of bed at any time. But the thing that keeps him in bed is an invisible barrier of this light that is red. And when it's red, that means bed. Red means bed. They get into bed. I actually linked this in my Amazon thing in my bio, just because I talk about it sometimes, and I link the one that I use. It's the Hatchlight, but it turns green automatically at 7:30, and so my son knows. When it's red, he stays in bed. As soon as it turns green, he can get out and he can go read his books and do all those things. And we practice it during the day, and he does pretty good with it. So, all right, you guys. Oh, Charlene, I am a grandma of an autistic grandson. How can I support him? Charlene, look, I get people up here every single day who say, I have a child with autism, but I don't have anyone to help me. Charlene, I want you to know that you are your child's village, your grandchild's village. You are such an important person in their life and in your child's life, assuming you're not the primary caregiver. He's 2.5, Charlene. Are you the primary caregiver, or are you're just grandma? What I want to recommend to you, if you are grandma, okay, you're not primary caregiver. Amazing. Okay, look, Charlene, I love that you're on this live. And you found me on here probably because you were already looking up things about autism. And what that tells me is you are going to be such a critical part of your grandchild's village. It is hard to do this alone. Your grandchild, it might not be easy to take him out in public. It might not be easy for your child to get out on a date night or get out of the house. Burnout is very real. Look, guys. Oh, your hubby found me. Good. Charlene, let me give you some perspective here. Charlene is a grandma to a child with autism. Put Charlene in the chat. That's CHARLENE. If you wish that you had someone like Charlene in your child's life, that you wish that you had a village with someone like Charlene, or you can put grandma in the chat. You can put grandma if that's easier. You can put Charlene or grandma in the chat, because I tell you what, there are not a lot of people out there who have family who want to learn about autism. There's so many people that it is just them trying to get through this. And having you guys, having you come and try to learn about autism and learn how to support them and learn to care about them and learn to be part of the village. I mean, that is powerful. You are going to not only change your grandchild's life, but you're going to be a lifesaver to your own child. So thank you, Charlene, for being a part of this and being a part of the village for your grandchild. I love that. Absolutely love it. Oh my gosh, Nikki, my mom passed about 6 years ago. It was my daughter's favorite person. Nikki, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Yeah. Nikki asked a question in her DMs. I can't get to the DMs right now, Nikki. You can put it over on YouTube. Or I can check it later and I can get back to you. Okay, and Tigu says, I wish I could show a video of my kiddo in car yesterday. He had bangs the window so bad. Oh, no. Oh, shoot. And Tigu, I'm so sorry. Is he in a car seat? Does he stay in a car seat? Tigu? Red Bandit says, do they understand they're autistic? That's a good question. I think it depends on the person with autism. I have heard some terrible situations where the parents never told the child that they were diagnosed with autism, and now they're an adult and wondering why they have all these struggles. They find out they have autism. They go and they tell their parents, and their parents say, "Oh, we knew that you had autism this whole time. Like you were diagnosed, but we didn't want to give you that label." And these people miss out on years of therapy. It was a therapist that told me about it, that now they're doing therapy with people who their parents knew they had autism but denied them services because they didn't want to put a label on them. Look, if you are a parent and you are worried about getting your child diagnosed with autism, I want you to know that they're going to know that they have autism. You're not going to be able to hide that from them. You can't get rid of autism. When they're an adult, there's going to come a time where they're like, why did I struggle so bad? Why did it seem like I had to work 10 times harder than everyone else to just make a friend? Right? And they're going to come to the conclusion on their own that they have autism. And so, and at that moment, they're going to say, why didn't my parents help me with this when I was a kid? Why did I have to struggle with no support my entire life when my parents could have gotten me diagnosed? Look, you are not, if you get your child diagnosed with autism, you are not ruining their life because you give them a label. They're going to get that label at some point in their life, either way. But what you're doing is you're opening up the door to supports earlier in their life. So don't avoid the autism diagnosis. Is hand flapping a sign for autism? It can be. So repetitive behaviors that can look like hand flapping or spinning or jumping or rocking. These are things that they do to regulate their nervous system. It is good for them to do. It's something we encourage. It's not something to stop. It's not a bad thing. But neurotypical kids do it as well. And so it really, autism has to be combined with all of the diagnostic criteria. So there also has to be deficiencies in social or communication. There has to be some sensory concerns, those repetitive behaviors, the rigidity in their schedules or transitions, or having some attachment to items. My child's favorite thing is toothbrush. He loves toothbrushes. Toothbrushes, pizza, and butterflies. Those are my child's special interests. What are your child's special interests, you guys? My child has 3, I'd say. He loves pizza, he loves toothbrushes, and he loves butterflies. Those are the 3. Those are the 3 things that my son loves. What are your children's special interests? Put it in the chat, you guys. What are your child's special interests? Anything aircraft and PCs. I love it. My oldest has level 1 autism, and when he was little, he would buy spatulas every time we went to the store. Spatulas, yes. Vehicles, oh my gosh, I love that. Animals, Greek mythology. Sharks, Nikki, oh my gosh. Bluey, oh, my kid enjoys Bluey as well. Play-Doh, chips, blocks, and drums. Chocolate chip cookies. Game systems, reptiles, and tornadoes. Books. Oh, I forgot books. That's probably my son's biggest special interest is books. He loves flipping through pages. And it's not just, he can't read. He looks at the pictures, but his favorite thing is turning pages, and he flaps the page, and he'll turn every single page. At church, they give us a book with all the music in there, and there's like 300 pages. His favorite thing to do at church is he sits on the bench, and he turns every single page. There's no pictures in there, but he goes from the cover to cover and flips every single page, flapping the pages as he turns. Books, puzzles, coloring. He is currently in bed flipping and throwing books. Yes, the solar system. I love it. Over on YT, any type of or form of sponges or cleaning tools. Oh, that is amazing. Sponges. That is the first time I've seen sponges show up on my live as a special interest. That makes me happy. Red Bandit says, but when they're children, do they understand that they are different? It really depends on the kid. It really does depend on the kid. Some really do. I mean, I had someone on my live yesterday who told me, and she's probably here right now, that her son said, I wish I didn't have autism. And it broke my heart to hear that. And so there are some that absolutely understand, and there's others that they're just happy to be here with us. So it really depends on the kid. Loves to talk about black holes and how things will explode. Oh my gosh. Okay. Guys, I was watching. Have you guys watched the documentary series called Evil Lives Here? It's like it's a documentary that's like a true crime documentary kind of thing. What do you call those? but they go through stories of like criminals from the family's perspective. And there was one that they kept talking about their child and what he was like when he was a kid, and they framed it as him being evil. And he did some terrible things when he was an adult, but as a kid, they talked all about how like every little thing they would say, it pointed to autism. I mean, and they never said autism, but they said like, oh yeah, like ever since he was like a really young kid, he loved fires and he loved fire trucks. And he would go and he had thousands of pictures of fire trucks. And he would go and all day, every day, just go and try to find fire trucks and fires and take pictures of the fire trucks, whether they were driving or looking at the fire trucks. And the whole time I'm like, autism, he needs therapy, he needs support, he needs to go and receive support for this. And the parents were like, no, he's evil. Like this obsession is evil. And anyway, it was just kind of interesting. I think autism, when we learn that our child has autism, it opens the door to various types of therapies and supports that we can support children with. Anyway, okay, let's go ahead. It is time that we can have some conversations. If you want to come up and have conversations with me, if you have a question about autism, we keep these brief, we keep it moving. But if you want to ask me something about autism, go ahead and request up. I'm going to go ahead and change the settings here so that you can go ahead and see the request box. There we go. Go ahead and request up if you want to ask me anything about autism. We can have a good conversation. We'll learn together. If you're just having a hard day too, like you are always welcome. If things are just hard right now and you want to vent, this is also a safe place. You can come up and just vent to me too. But we're gonna go ahead as people request up. We can have some conversations. Now that someone's up here, I'm gonna go ahead and change the settings back. Feed Your Soul, how are you doing today? Can you hear me? Hello? Oh, they must have hopped out. Okay, let me go ahead and change the settings back here. If you believe you are a victim, you always will be one. The mind is extremely powerful. Yeah, Petals. I think that is true. I think that is true. But I also think that some kids with autism and some parents definitely do have a hard time. And it's okay to you're not playing victim to discuss openly some of the challenges that we have. It can build strength to talk openly about challenges. Kay Somers says, my son is level 1 but was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes. Is there a correlation? Not that I know of. Let me dig into that outside of the live. I'll have a better answer. I don't know of any identified correlation between type 1 diabetes and autism, but there could be. I don't know everything. So Haley says it's so misunderstood. I'm a teacher and I do refer parents to testing, but they get so mad and offended. Haley, yeah, I could see that. And it's a hard conversation to have with a parent to suggest that their child might have autism. But thank you for doing that. Well, hi, Charlene.
Hi. Can you hear me?
I can hear you great. You're your grandma, aren't you?
Yes, I am.
Oh my gosh, you guys! Charlene was commenting earlier, if you're new here, and that she is a grandma to a 2.5-year-old, I believe, who's newly diagnosed with autism.
He's a twin. He has a twin sister.
Oh my gosh! Okay.
Yes.
Wonderful.
This is my son's son.
Yeah. How can we help you today?
No, so he just got his diagnosis yesterday, and I do have two dear friends that have autistic boys. But they're grown men now. They're in their 20s, and I've known them for 15 years. So I've seen, different aspects of autism, and it just worries me that as my grandson gets older, I don't know, will he have these issues?
Yeah.
I pray no, because I see how much my friends struggle,
Yeah.
and I just don't want, my grandson or my son to struggle.
Yeah. Yeah. You are such a compassionate family member and village for your son. Is it your son?
Yes, my
For
son.
your son and for your grandchild. I mean that is absolutely incredible. Look, there's a grieving process of getting your child diagnosed, and the reason for that is because you anticipated, as a parent, you anticipate what the life looks like for your child, and as a grandparent, you anticipate what that life looks like as a grandparent and with that child. And sometimes getting that autism diagnosis puts a reality check on that and puts an unknown future in place that we don't know what needs the child is going to have when they're 15, when they're 20. All we know is what supports they need right now. And
Yes.
it I mean, it's a level of grief. I cried when I saw the diagnosis written down for my son for the first time, and went through the whole grieving process. And not that I don't love my kid, but it just wasn't the life that I expected that he'd have to go through. It's a hard thing.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, I do want you to know that there are like actionable things that we can do. Our goal. Let me say this, Charlene. Our goal, once you go through the grieving process, our goal as autism parents and autism family members is not to make the kid neurotypical. Autism can be beautiful. There are struggles and it needs support, but the autistic brain is fascinating. Like there's a kids with autism, they have a profound need for order, for the way that their brain processes patterns and routines. It's amazing. I love the way my son's brain works, but there are
Right.
supports that they need, and we are able to increase the likelihood that your child or grandchild needs fewer supports later in life. And there are specific things to do. Have they started any kind of therapies?
Well, he's been in speech therapy and behavioral therapy because they were preemies
Oh,
and
wow.
they're
Okay.
already delayed as well already. But we already saw things with my grandson that I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay.
so
There
it's a
are there
good
are
thing
four
that he's.
there's four
I'm sorry.
therapies. There's four therapies that I want you to have your eyes on and to talk to your son about,
Mhm.
and help them if they have questions about it. The four therapies that I recommend people look at include ABA therapy. That's
He's
applied
gonna
behavior
have that.
analysis. He is good. Um,
Yes.
and that is one that is very intensive, and it's amazing. I highly recommend it. Occupational therapy is one that's a good recommendation, especially if they have a hard time with sensory needs.
Is that
Um,
when they come to the home and do visits?
it can be at the home with visits, and
Uh-huh.
it's usually an hour a week or so. But that's optional. Like all of these, you can figure out what the best options are. But
Right.
um, then you have speech therapy, which he's already getting or got, which
He's
is
getting.
great.
Uh huh.
And then as the child grows up, there may be a need for mental health therapy if there's
Mhm.
anxiety or depression or anything like that that can come with autism. And so those are the things to keep in mind as frontline therapies and supports for the child. And there's clear research that starting early, 2.5, that is so young. That is so young. Um, and there's a lot of research that where your grandchild is right now has an amazing chance at needing very low supports throughout their life if they get the interventions early on that they need.
That's what I'm praying for. I really am.
Yeah, yeah,
We just don't know. You just don't. You can't. Predict it. You just
yeah,
got to get through it.
yeah.
I have a daughter. Like it's not the same thing, but when I went, my daughter, she's 21 now, and she's a childhood cancer survivor. And
Wow.
during that time, I kind of stuck to myself. But I told my son, don't do that to yourself because it's a lonely world. And I know this right here, too. Autism is a lonely world. You just
Yes.
feel You need to, surround yourself with people too, because you understand what you're going through. It's just support.
Yeah. Look, I feel like a lot of family when you get diagnosed or when your child gets diagnosed, I hear all the time that people feel like their family, their extended family, the grandparents, everyone isolated themselves from them. That they took themselves out of the picture once
Oh,
a
I could
disability came in.
never, ever dream
And
of doing that.
I love that reaction of yours.
Gosh.
I mean, you can't even fathom that. And I just want to say thank you, Charlene, for being that
Yeah,
wonderful
you can't
person.
keep me away. Oh, no, no, no. Matter of
Oh,
fact, I mean, my whole family, I have three daughters. My son, he has three sisters, and we're like, what do you need? What can we do?
oh my gosh. This boy's gonna be so well taken care of. Like
Oh,
honestly, I am so glad to hear that. And I mean, that's what you need. That's the number one thing, that if you have a child with autism, you need a village, and then you need to go get a diagnosis, and then you need to build their care team. And if you have those
yes,
three things in place, which it sounds like your grandchild is getting, like that is the foundation of growth and support for a child with autism. Now,
yes,
you're just be aware, you and your son and everyone involved now is going to be the victims of predatory marketing. There are going to be so many different cures or
oh,
uh, things that people recommend that you have to do, of doing everything to change the diet and give them supplements and everything like that. And just keep in mind that the grief and the like wanting everything best for your child, sometimes that means doing less, because you do more, that's going to strip yourself of time and resources and energy. And like
mhm.
what your grandson really needs is parents that are there, grandparents that are there, and the foundational therapies. Like that's what he
Yeah,
needs.
that's what he has too.
I love that. I
That's
love it.
definitely. I just want to thank everybody in the chat. I'm reading comments, and thank you all for your support. And just to back to your families and whoever feels like they're alone or sad or going through it too, just know you're not alone. And these are God's children.
Yeah.
I love
Yes.
their honesty. I love everything about them.
Yes. Oh, that's a good one. Hey, Charlene, thank you so much for coming up. I appreciate
Well,
you.
thank you for having me. And I'm a new follower, and I'll be watching you.
Oh, I love it. Thank you so much for being here, Charlene. All right,
Okay.
have a
Thank
good
you
one.
so much.
All
Bye
right,
bye.
bye. All right, you guys. What a wonderful grandparent. We need more Charlene's. I am grateful that I have a Charlene in my life. I have Charlene's in my life and family that are involved. And Charlene, thank you for being a good example to how grandparents and family members should be when they learn of their child's diagnosis. What a good example. All right, you guys. How are we doing in the chat? We got some more guests that I can bring up. I'm also going to make sure that we address some of these comments that are coming in. So go ahead and be putting some questions in the chat, and then I'll bring some more people up. Um, let's see. Okay, 123 says, should I be scared to get my son tested, since supposedly people are saying they're going to track kids with autism? Look, no, I'm not worried about that. I Yeah, that came from like a year ago. They were saying that they wanted to, for research purposes, track like their medical records and stuff, to try to look for correlations. And I think there's a lot of conspiracy theories about what that actually was, but I think that's all it was, is conspiracy theories. I think it was a little bit of an overreach trying to do some research, but I haven't heard much come from that since then. Yeah. Um, all right. Let's see. So yes, don't be scared. Don't be scared to get diagnosed. That label isn't going to ruin your child's life. It's going to open the door to supports. Over on the YT platform, again, I prioritize those comments. Kay Somers says, my son attends a public charter school, and his teacher mentioned he may need alternative schooling with reduced hours as he gets overstimulated and defiant. Do you have advice for schools like this? Okay. Okay, Case Somers, let me share my thoughts on this. From my understanding, schools are not able to just refer you to somewhere that is going to make it easier on them. Your child should have an IEP where that school is obligated and that district is obligated to support your child in however they need to meet those educational milestones and educational support. And so please do not feel pressured by a teacher about making a decision. What I will say, though, is that sometimes it is better for your child to have fewer hours at school. Some parents have found it helpful to do therapies or homeschooling in place of some of those hours at school. And that is a good thing. That can help. But also you can also make it work. If your child has high support needs, the schools can support them. My 3.5-year-old at school gets a one-on-one aide that is trained in ABA, doing ABA services at school. They're not an RBT, they're a paraprofessional, but they're trained to be like an RBT. And I am so grateful for the supports that my son gets at school. They do a really good job. And so schools can be a great resource. Over on the YT platform, we have another comment. Guys, please make sure, and Pink, yes, I will bring you up here in just a minute, Pink. Let me read this other comment. On the YT platform, I do try to read all of those. I can't say the name of it, but it is linked in my bio. Make sure you're subscribed over there because you can also watch these after the fact. You can go and listen to past days, and if you're just can't get enough of these lives, which are amazing, you can go in and re-listen to some of them. So over there, Fluffy says, how to help people understand techniques with PDA 5-year-old aren't just giving in to him, but necessary to help him cope with day-to-day life and get them to get on board with these approaches. Thanks. Fluffy, the best thing I can say, so PDA is pathological demand avoidance, okay? And what we see with PDA is that people with PDA have a very real, measurable negative interaction to demands that are placed on them. This is like if you asked your child to go and put their hand on the stove, they're going to react the same way as if you were to go and ask them to put their shoes on. I mean, it causes very real emotional and physiological reaction to demands that are placed on them. And so you absolutely need to know how to work with them. And that can be something that you can share with them, is build some empathy of like, look, you asking him to do this is similar to if I asked you to go put your hand on a hot stove. You wouldn't expect that person to do that. And so there are ways that you have to work with them. And I won't get into all the strategies there. I can at some point, but there's a lot of strategies of how do you make it so that a demand doesn't feel like you're putting your hand on a hot stove? How do you make a demand? How do you make it more likely that they're willing to do those necessary things that they have to do every day? We can talk about that. 123 says, I don't know why, but just listening while I'm working is helping me get through my day. I've been alone, no family, so it's been super hard. Oh my gosh, 123. I'm glad that we're here. I'm sorry for all that you've been through. I mean, you're saying that your child's mother passed away. I mean, that hit me hard. That impacted me. Yeah, Fluffy, for sure. It is exhausting to explain the PDA stuff. All right, you guys, let's go ahead and by the way, 123 people on TikTok are responding to you as well, showing their love and support. I haven't mentioned this enough today. We do have a Facebook group, and we have a Discord chat that you guys are able to join for after the lives conversations. So feel free to do that. Let's see if we can get Pink up here. Destiny, hello, bringing you up too, friend.
Hello.
Hello?
Well, hello, you guys. Destiny, good to see you. Are you
Hello.
good if we talk to Pink here for a bit?
Yeah, go ahead.
Awesome. Pink,
Yeah,
how are you
so-
doing?
Good. I guess for me, I was just more on the venting side, and I wanted to know. I guess I want to know. I mean, there's not really a timeline, but I wonder if there's any changes coming to the autism spectrum in general or mental health.
Yeah.
Because I guess where I got frustrated was that I was working as a paraprofessional in a school district that wouldn't provide enough training for what to do in the care, and it just seemed like kids were going to school and just it was like get through the day. It was just like get through the day, nothing changes.
Oh.
um it just felt like and this was a whole, like, this was a school district as a whole, like, in every I was in three different classes. I was at the middle school level, elementary school level, and all three. It just seemed that it was just like get through the day. Just get through the day, take the hits, take the punches, take the biting, take the hair pulling. It was just that. It was just, and that's what it seemed. And it was never enough. There was never any hands-on training. We would get the CPI training, like the crisis prevention training,
So do you
but
still
that
work
was
in
just
this is in
to,
schools that you worked, or were you a para? Is that what you said?
oh, uh, this was in the state of Texas. I don't work there anymore. I
Okay.
left. Now I work in daycare.
Oh, very
So
cool.
I'm not in that system anymore. But I feel like something has to change because parents have such a high expectation in these classrooms, and they don't know what's actually going on in the actual classrooms. They
Yeah.
don't know that the teachers and a lot of the staff are just there to make it through the day.
Yeah. And that breaks my heart because my son has learned so much from school. Like he gets a one-on-one, and I mean he's halfway through learning his mom's phone number, and he still doesn't respond to his name sometimes, but they're doing so good at school. I'm curious too, Pink. Give us more background about you. What state are you in? What's your connection to autism? Do you have a child with autism as well? What's some of your background here?
So I'm in the state of Texas, and my only background is that it's just working in the school system. That is my only background. I
Okay.
don't have, I don't
Yeah.
have children with
No,
autism, but
that's
that
great.
is the connection that has brought me to them was that it was my line of work, and I,
Yeah.
I loved it. I love my line of work. Like I,
Yeah.
I loved, I love being in there.
But it was
I
very
just
much just
the
passively
thing.
waiting instead of like actively improving skills and working with them.
Exactly. It
Yeah.
just it,
Wow.
and I'm so glad that the school system has like it that has been working for you. And it's just sad that that can't be the case for everybody. That's what makes me so upset is that
Oh yeah.
that can't be the case for everybody and not every school district. I mean, there's where I moved. I'm originally from North Texas, but I just moved down to South Texas. And the place where I just moved down to South Texas, they can't even have the children that have autism separate from the medically fragile students,
Mm.
from other disabilities. They don't have that ability as they do in a bigger metroplex like they can in North Texas. Some of them, everybody's all grouped in the same classroom. We have children with cerebral palsy, we have children with autism, we have children in wheelchairs, all in the same room. And that just seems very dangerous. That does not seem like that is very safe. But because the school district is so small and the city is so small, I mean, there's really not, they don't have the capacity that a bigger school district does.
I'm seeing a comment here over on YT on the other platform that says I'm in Texas. The SPED funding has been drastically cut, which does a disservice to our kiddos. So definitely look at alternatives. Homework is a bit much, and it's such a battle to get them to do it. Yes, Texas needs to prioritize the SPED community and not just push them along. I'm curious about that. It sounds like there might have been some cuts to funding at the schools as well. But I'm curious too, Lexi. You were a preschool teacher. Or what were you, Lexi? What kind of teacher were you? Do you have a similar
Yes.
experience?
Hi. Yeah, I actually did. So listening to you, Pink, I remembered the reason why I had to leave um, teaching, unfortunately. Um, it's very hard and your feelings are very valid. Um, I was a I was a teacher for 3 and 4 year olds through a state government program. I don't want to put the name out there. A state government program for children with who are less fortunate. Um, so I definitely dealt with a lot of the same experiences on what you're dealing with. And I also have a child with autism, and he was in the public school system. So I dealt with it on both ends. I dealt with it from like a teacher's perspective or a paraprofessional because I did a lot of the same things that you do as a paraprofessional. And then I also dealt with it as a parent. um, I understand your frustration and completely validate all of your points. Paraprofessionals kind of just get strung along throughout the day and get told, hey, you have to deal with this kid, or, you have to do this with this kid, or take this kid there, or things like that. And I think that it's very unfair that the public school system doesn't focus more on children who have special needs and what skills or they can provide to you to be able to make your job easier and continue to enjoy your job. Because I loved being a teacher. I love the students, I love the classroom, I love teaching. I didn't like all the other stuff. I didn't like the admin work. I didn't like any of that other stuff. But um
I'm
from my
curious.
point of
I'm
view.
curious if I'll let you
Mhm.
keep going, Lexi, but I want to get people in the chat commenting on this. I'm curious in the chat. Let me know if put uh, yes if you feel like the school is adequately supporting your child. Put no if you have kind of some of these shared concerns that the school is not adequately caring for your child, that they're just doing the bare minimum to get your kid going through. I'm curious people's perception, because I would definitely say like yes, um, that school is doing enough for me, for my child. Like I really do. I'm having an amazing experience, but I know that's not everyone's experience. So yes, if the school's doing great. No, if they're not doing enough for your child. In the chat, go ahead, Lexi. I'm just curious about this.
No worries. So Pink, I think that the best thing that we can do, not coming from a parent's point of view, not coming from a teacher's point of view, just coming from an overall person's point of view, I think that the best thing that we can do, and maybe something that you could bring up in your community if it is, a major concern for you in regards on how to help these children, is to be able to talk to somebody who has power to make change, or um, you know public schools. I know that they have like meetings that you can go to, and bring up these concerns and let them know, I love working with children, I love working with the community, or I love everything that I do, but I'm not getting the support. What are you guys going to do to help us? What are you guys going to do to get us the support that we need so that we can help these children and not just string them along for the ride? Um, and maybe that's something that you could bring up in your local community. Maybe get involved with some groups of, you know, parents who have children who are on the spectrum, um, and be able to like build a community with them, or a village, like we say here, with them, and be able to get your concerns out, not coming from a parent's point of view since you don't have children who are on the spectrum, and not coming specifically from a professional, but um, still using your professionalism as a paraprofessional to voice your concerns and let them know, we're stressed. We're stressed.
I think it's so
It's
cool
just
to
what it comes
hear
down to.
from a, you know, someone working in the system to be like, "Hey, look, I wish that we could do more and I want to do more." And like
Mhm.
you might not have the resources or tools to do it, but like you're recognizing that there's a need. So there's more people, more teachers and paras need to be like you, Pink. Thank you for thinking of that. Any other thoughts, Pink, that you have about this before we move on to the next person?
is, and this one, I guess, this one's completely off of the topic that I was talking about, but the other one is these autism reveal parties that and they're older. They're
What
like
is that? An
older.
autism reveal party? Never heard of that.
Yes, they are revealing, instead of like a gender reveal, they're revealing like, oh, today I'm going to find out if I'm on the spectrum or not. That's where I want the name change to come, is because there's autism, and there's people that can't even function because they're so far on the spectrum that
Yeah.
they can't function. They're aggressive, and then we have these people that are doing autism reveal parties who are able to function and everything, and then they're like, okay, we're gonna find out if I'm on the spectrum, and they're like
Yeah.
barely on the spectrum, like barely. And it's like you can throw yourself a whole party, but they just want the label of
Yeah.
having autism. That
Yeah,
one, that it drives me
it's
bananas.
definitely something I don't think I would do, but let me give some perspective here too, because you had asked about like what changes may be coming to autism. There is a push right now to have profound autism be a separate diagnosis within autism. That once you're over the age of, I believe they're looking at the age of 8, and you have no like reliable method of communication and some other things, you can be added having the profound autism label added on, and so that can factor into that. But I also want to say, like, um, as much as I don't agree with any kind of trend of having autism as something that you can identify with and like pick to be part of that community, it is a disability, it's a diagnosis. But I also don't want to dismiss, even though someone is an adult and they appear to be like have low support needs, I don't want to dismiss the validity of what they've gone through. Like, we know, especially women tend to mask earlier in life, and like they may socialize and have work and have a job, but it may have been 10 times harder for that person than the typical person to go and make a friend. And like, I don't want us to dismiss that their disability is not valid because of how they um, decided to announce it. And so just be mindful of that it is very real if they have that diagnosis. Now, making it like a fun party thing, like I'm okay with people disagreeing with that, but I don't want that to be the same thing as dismissing and saying that they have less autism than someone else.
Thank you for answering my question on the profound. Actually, I did not know that. That is very new to me, and I'm glad that that will be finally happening, because it just felt like and if you look them up on TikTok, you can look up autism reveal parties. Then you'll see some that are like, it seems more like a game than an actual. I don't know. Just it just seems more on like a game on my end.
Now,
But I'm so glad
let
that
me push
you.
back one more time and give an kind of a opposite viewpoint. What if the outcome of that is that it normalizes having autism? Right now, I talk to parents every day who, the mom went and had to get a diagnosis in secret because the dad was so adamantly opposed to having their child labeled as autistic. Like, there's such a stigma around it. And, celebrating differences, what if celebrating that difference made it normalized it to the point that it lessens the stigma around it? Do you think that could be a good thing?
Yeah, sorry, I'm trying to do a couple things at once. But yeah, the one about, yeah, and that's another thing that I forget, is that it's not normalized yet. Just because I've worked in the school system and seen it and was around it every day, I got to
Yeah, it's
remember
normalized
that
to you. You wouldn't
that
have any
it's not.
problem having, diagnosing your own child or something like that. But that's a real
Exactly.
experience a lot of people have. But thank you so
Yeah.
much, Pink, for coming up. I appreciate your time, and we'll go ahead and talk to you another time. Thank you.
No, thank you. Thank you so much.
Have a good one. Lexi, did Destiny run away?
It looks like she sure did. Maybe she had a call or something like that. You know
Yeah.
how Destiny is.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's okay.
Destiny, we love you.
Lexi, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. Sorry I came in a little late. I had a mental health appointment that
Oh, good.
couldn't wait. So,
It's a good thing to do.
yeah, but I'm doing good. Everything so far has been, you know, same old, same old. We just kind of deal with it on a day by day basis as parents. We just roll through the motions. So we'll see what today is like. But he did good. He went to therapy and he actually gave me his tablet with only 10 prompts. And I know that sounds like a lot, you guys. Everybody in the chat listening. Um, but I have to prompt this kid like 20 different times to give me his tablet. And
Oh,
even
wow.
then, he gives it to me like really upset or fussing, or I have to take it. But today, I only had to prompt him 10 times and he gave it to me all on his own. So
Oh my
I am super
goodness.
excited about that.
Hey, that's wonderful. That's a celebration. It's a celebration
Yeah.
for sure. It's Ashley. Hello, good to see you. Um, all right. I'm curious if let's see if there's we could probably do another guest here. Let me see if there are some other people that have questions.
This is my favorite part of the live.
It's always good to hear from people. Maria, hello. How are you doing?
Hello, how are you?
Well, I'm doing pretty good. Where are you calling him from?
Well, I'm an American, but I live in Oviedo, Spain.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's like 6 in the afternoon.
Oh my goodness. What connects you to autism?
My daughter is diagnosed autistic. She's 11 years old,
Mm,
and I have a question.
yeah.
So she's made the same comment twice now, and as a parent, this is the first time I've had to deal with this. I don't know what to answer her. And so what she's been saying lately is, how do I get rid of autism? I don't like the fact that I'm autistic. I wish I wasn't autistic, and I don't know how to respond to
It
her.
is so interesting that you came up and brought this up. Lexi, do you want to share what you brought up to me yesterday?
Hi. Yeah,
Right.
I actually brought that up yesterday. My son is 7 years old. And yes, the day before yesterday, he told me that he doesn't want to have autism anymore.
Mm,
Um, and it was really hard to hear as a mom
yep.
because you try so hard to give them the best possible life that you can because you know they have limits. We all know that
Yeah.
there are just certain things that they have limits on. And to hear him say that he doesn't want to be himself broke my heart.
Yep.
Um,
Exactly.
it's as a parent, you try to do everything, the therapies, the this, the that, they're taking them and bringing them home and finding the right school and finding the right professionals to work with them. And you do all of this work, and then at the end, to hear your child don't want to, I don't want to have this, I don't want to
Yeah.
be this, um,
Hmm.
is hard. It's really hard as a parent. Your
Let me
feelings are completely valid.
let me ask some follow-up questions to this and I mean, Maria, I'm going to direct these questions to you. When your daughter brought it up, what was going on? I mean, what happened before she brought it up? Was there something hard going on for her?
Ooh, that's a good question. Not that I can connect. No, not that I can connect anything. I know that we've had some struggles because she's got an older brother who is quite insensitive and likes to use he likes to use, and I wouldn't say bully, but
Yeah.
kind of borderline bully, which I've
Yeah.
had to stop. I've had to put a stop to that. But he'll flat say, like, she'll do something and he'll flat say, well, that's autistic, or there's
Mm,
autism. So I've had to put a stop to that. But in regards to like the last time she said it, nothing was happening that I can connect. I
yeah.
think maybe she was just feeling a certain way inside, and that's what came out.
Yeah, because I
Also,
think
you have to remember children who are on the spectrum remember a lot of things that we don't think are really big or important, but
yeah,
to them, like the feelings that they get from it, they can remember, and they'll sometimes voice those in a way like saying, I don't want to have autism. Maybe in her mind, she still thought of a time that her brother told her that, and it made her feel wrong, or, you know,
yeah.
something like that. Just a thought. Sorry.
Well, yeah, it's a good thought, and it makes me think that I really just need to double down and make sure that it just doesn't happen in my home again.
I think it's a good prompt for a further discussion of if she says that again, what I would ask is like, what do you mean? Tell me about that. What are things about autism that you don't like and that are bothering you right now? What are some things that you do like about having autism? And see where they're coming from, because I think we can think it's deeper than it is. Like it might just be that she doesn't like being teased about having autism. Or it might be like, I don't like how loud the world feels. And, it can prompt like, okay, how can we help you with that? Like, we cannot get rid of autism, but we can help you turn down the volume. Like, what can we do to support? And so I think more than anything, let that be a prompt of like, that is her opening up the conversation to being able to dive deep into how she's feeling about things. And
Okay.
we don't always get that with kids with autism, to have a window into their brain of what they're thinking. And, that's kind of the start of her being able to open up about it. And that can be a good thing.
Okay, well, I will absolutely follow that advice. That's actually really good advice. That's actually really good advice because I have 4 kids total,
Yeah.
and I used to be able, like with the other 3 that are now much older. Like if they ever said a statement like that, like that was my cue. Ooh, now I get to actually talk to their heart, is how I used to say it. Like
Yeah.
they've opened the world. Like, ooh, they've invited me to talk to their heart right now.
Yes. I've never said it that way. I like that.
Ah, cool. But I have forgotten with her, so thank you for
Yeah,
reminding me of that.
yeah, Maria, for sure. I'm curious. I saw some questions in the chat about it. What services for autism are there in Spain? How is that going?
It's really amazing. So, okay, I don't know what services are like in the US because when
Yeah.
she got her diagnosis, it came actually from her school. So, yeah, it came from her school. Her school, like her teacher said, we think we're seeing this. So they like gave me a referral to a counseling office. None of this was out of pocket. All of it was through the school. They evaluated her and then they set up an appointment with like a medical doctor who can actually give her the diagnosis. And then once she had her diagnosis, I just had to bring that diagnosis to her school, and they set up. I don't even know. I don't remember what it's called here, but they set up basically where she can have an extra teacher that pretty much sits by her side
Oh wow.
every day, all day to help her. So to me, it's been quite amazing.
Wow.
It's the only thing I know, but I know that she's got so much support.
Love
So,
to
so,
hear
so
that.
much support.
Love to hear that. Maria, do you have any, before I move on to the next person, do you have any advice that you would give to other autism parents listening in right now?
Yeah, I think so whether rightly or wrongly, the way I chose to handle it is just be very transparent with her and just give her all of the information on, just the way the autistic mind works. Again, rightly or wrongly, I don't know if that's the right thing,
Yeah.
but I think maybe like advice would be to maybe to support or to seek out support in every step of the way.
Mm,
So, like right now she's 11, she's starting to, become a young lady. And I'm like, I don't know how to handle those changes with the autism. So let's start seeking out answers. So I think that's my advice is to get support to meet them, where they're at every step of the way.
beautiful.
Cool.
Very well
Thank you
put.
for answering my question.
Maria, thank you for coming up and sharing. I appreciate your time. You have a good one.
Very welcome. Thank you.
All right, you guys. I know there's a lot of people requesting to come up. We have a lot of people in the guest box. Let's see here. If we don't get to you today, come back tomorrow for sure. We go live every day. If you guys are new here, let me give a little bit of a breakdown of what we do here. We go live daily for a couple of hours, usually starting at noon Eastern time. And I'm an autism dad. I have 2 kids with autism. I'm a board certified behavior analyst, so I do ABA therapy. And I've been working with people with disabilities since 2013. I also run a company in the state of Utah supporting people with autism. And so I'm an advocate for autism. I'm an advocate for autism parents. And that's what we do here. So please make sure if it says follow right here, it means you're not yet following me. So make sure that you do hit that follow. Let me just catch up on YouTube as well. Oops, I'm not supposed to say that word out loud. All right. Traditional schooling is not for every child, and some schools don't have the tools or resources to be flexible to their needs, even with an IEP in place. Okay. Kay Somers, thank you for your participation over there on YouTube. I already said it, so I guess I'm just going to be saying that till we're done with the live. Destiny, how are you doing?
I'm hanging in there. Hudson woke up and he decided that every time I ask him to do something today, he's going to go, no. And that's why I'm like, I struggle with how much does he know? Like, if I ask him, Hudson, can you get your shoes? Or Hudson, let's do this, he will act like I'm not talking to him. But if I say, Hudson, do you want to go bye-bye? Do you want to go play with Miss Danielle? He runs to the door. And then today I said, Hudson, come here, buddy. We got to change your clothes. No. And I'm like, I appreciate the attempted communication, but this isn't
let
going to
him
work.
Get out of it. Say, okay, I guess we're not going. Good using your words.
So that I'm starting to realize that I truly think that he knows a lot more than he's acknowledging. Like when I ask him to get his shoes, I've always just gone to do it because he'll never do it. He acts like I'm not even talking to him. But now that I'm starting to get those responses, I'm like, no, you're just being a toddler.
Yeah.
And I appreciate the communication.
To say no.
Yeah, I'm like, we can work on manners later, but this really isn't like a yes or no. I wasn't asking you. We really have to change your clothes because you can't go to therapy in a 2XL t-shirt.
Yeah.
We've been also, so he had that problem of like taking off his clothes in the middle of the night. And my husband I say accidentally, but like he went into the thrift store to get something and he saw this Georgia shirt that was like a size 8. Hudson's 2. I mean, he is a big boy. He's in like 4T, 5T, but this was an 8 shirt and he put it on him and he slept in it. And then he didn't want us to take it off of him because it was huge on him. Like it was an oversized, it kind of felt like there was nothing on. He was just sleeping in a giant t-shirt and his diaper. So that seems to be working. So I went back to the thrift store and got a bunch of extra large oversized t-shirts for him.
Oh my gosh.
And that seems to be helping.
Loves it.
I think maybe he didn't like the restrictive or tight clothing while he was sleeping. I don't know.
I really do like the approach of assuming competence in our kids with autism. And I think it's way too easy for us to just assume that they don't know what we're talking about and do things for them. And I think talking to them as if they understand everything we're saying is the right approach. Now, I want to be cautious with that language too, because assuming competence is the justification behind some harmful pseudoscientific therapies like spelling to communicate or facilitated communication. I don't talk about those enough on here. At some point, we will talk about those more, but I
think to add to that, it's important that you assume competence, especially when you're talking about your child.
Yeah.
That's something that Eli and I had to start working on early because we'd catch ourselves talking about him in front of him and not necessarily in a negative way, just kind of talking about what he's doing or not doing or, therapies, things that he doesn't need to be involved in. Yeah. And while he may just seem like he's playing, he's still listening to what we're saying. So it's important that you talk positively about your child and the things that they're doing when they're around, no matter how old they are. He's only 2, but we don't talk about anything hard or any of the negatives until after he goes to bed.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. I think that's important for sure. Absolutely. Yeah. I don't know. I'm trying to think of how we talk about our kids. I think we're always positive about them. I definitely don't hide that he has autism either. Like I think that is kind of an odd decision that some parents make. I feel like, to not let their child know about their autism. Something I don't agree with, but
I don't know how we're gonna approach that, honestly. Like, I don't feel like I need to be like, "Hey, buddy, you have autism." You know,
I don't think there's ever going to be a time where I need to do that with my kids, because like it's just part of what we talk about, you know.
I didn't think I was gonna have to go into it, but apparently I do. So every experience is a little bit different. Definitely.
We have just started to try to use his little like iPad communication device app thing that we put together. And right now he's just kind of swiping the screens, but he found the no button and started laughing. Like, he thought it was the funniest thing ever. So he just presses the no button over and over again, but he does it with all 4 fingers. He still, to this day, we've been working on this since he was 6 months old. He still will not point. He will not use his index finger. I'll take his hand and like fold all of his fingers and just point it with his index finger, but he just hits it with his whole hand. So that's tough.
Kenya, thank you for the hand heart. That means a lot. I appreciate that. The pointing comes, but you're saying not even just pointing, but like just using the index finger for things he's not doing.
Yeah, he doesn't point at anything. He doesn't press buttons with his index finger. None of that. So like, it's kind of hard for us. You know, a lot of people are like, what if you gave him 2 pictures and had him point to which one he wanted? And I'm like, well, that doesn't work either, because he won't point to which one he wants or grab which one he wants. He'll just kind of like inspect the pictures. And
thank you for the hat on mustache. That was super nice, Kenya. That means a lot. Well, what else do you guys have going on? Any other crazy news or celebrations or challenges? Lexi,
we bought a truck.
You found a truck. Okay.
Yep, we got a truck, and
what does Hudson think about your truck? That's the most important thing.
He loves, so the truck bed came with a cover, like a hard cover that goes over it, and Hudson's obsessed with crawling in the truck bed with the cover on it. I guess because he likes the enclosed space, and we have to crawl back there to get him out of it, but he loves it. I'm like, Hudson, can you say truck? And he goes, quack, quack. I'm like, close enough.
So he's going to call your truck a duck all the time.
Yes.
Like, let's go in the quack, quack. People are going to think you're like literally insane. And
I'm like, close enough, buddy.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Well, that's exciting. Do you like the truck?
Yeah, I love it. It has more space than my SUV, so we're going to have to get another 2 car seats to keep in there, so we don't have to keep doing the back and forth, because I don't want to drive my car anymore. I just want to ride in the truck.
There you go.
But now like I told you he kind of like fixates on things, whether it be weapons or his Xbox or whatever. And he likes making changes and customizing things. And now he wants to do like a chrome delete on the truck and have it wrapped in a military green and change the headlights. And
he's got a new special interest.
He does. And it's going to be a very expensive special interest.
Kenya, thank you for the paper crane. Guys, I don't always get gifts on here, but I really appreciate that. That means a lot. That support means a lot. My special interest right now has been TikTok and autism, so that's a good thing.
Well, I hope that never changes.
Yeah,
because who else?
Yeah, for my sake too. I hope it never changes.
Oh, it won't. I'm stuck here now.
I save so much money every month by canceling my therapy appointments and just coming to Kylan's lives.
Don't do that. You got to go to therapy, guys. Go to therapy.
I have a really bad habit of like, wow, I feel great. I'm not going to take my medicine. Or I feel great. I don't need to go to therapy this week. I'm like, I feel great because I'm doing those things.
Oh my goodness. Thank you, Kenya.
Lexi, that I got a notification that vibration plate will be there on Monday.
Yay, thank you.
Oh, you ordered Lexi a cool little vibration plate.
Yes.
So what
I'm
are
so
those?
excited.
What they're just, a lot of kids with autism enjoy those. Is that they're
yeah,
kind of fun?
it literally stems for them. Like Hudson will sit there and he just goes ah, and like it shakes him and he loves it. And he'll go in and I have to keep it turned off because he will turn it up to like level 100 and he falls off of it. It will literally throw him off. But they use it in OT and they love it.
And they love it. My son
might not be for everyone.
started.
But yeah.
No, not for everybody. Definitely talk to your occupational therapist before you buy them because they are pretty expensive, the vibration plates. But my son started getting on the vibration plates about, I want to say maybe 3 sessions ago or 4 sessions ago in OT. You got bubble gum.
Wow, that was cool. Thank you, Kenya.
And he loves it, but he'll do the same thing that Hudson does. He'll go and he'll get on it, and then he'll turn it all the way up to the one that his occupational therapy goes up to 99. So he'll turn it all the way up to 99 and just stand there and go, like, I don't know what it is, but it does help him regulate because after
I'm
he
so
gets
excited to
off,
get a video of him.
yeah,
I'm
I
so
will
excited.
definitely send you guys a video.
That's awesome.
Love that.
And the spinner. Yes. I want to know if anybody uses those little spinners because I saw them on Amazon and
Like the
Hudson's birthday's
seats?
coming up. Yes.
Oh yeah,
And I'm
those are
like,
cool. We have
I
those in
bet
our
he would love
clinics.
that.
And kids always love those. They always
How do
love
they
them.
not get dizzy? Like, I get dizzy watching them.
Oh, I could not even do one rotation on it. That would be terrible.
No.
And they'll go fast. They'll just spin, 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 and they love it.
It's the same as the vibration plate. I tried to get on the vibration plate at his occupational therapy, and I was like, "Oh my God, I feel sick. I'm gonna throw up. This is
It
like
gives you vertigo, like almost car
yeah,
sickness. Yes, I'm the same way.
yes,
My massage therapist cannot use the massage gun on my back or neck because it gives me vertigo and I start getting like dizzy and sick, like I'm in a car. It's terrible.
Oh yeah, Brooklyn.
but our kids are
Brooklyn said.
resisting to it, and they love it. It's amazing for them. It's like the best feeling in the world.
Brooklyn, the spinning chair or the vibration that you think our daughter would like?
Hey, I'll get y'all one too if you think she'd like it.
No. Oh, the vibration? Yeah, that'd be a cool one to try, Brooklyn. We should look at it.
Does she have OT?
No, we haven't done OT with her. That could be
Oh,
a good
okay.
thing
Because I
too.
was gonna say if she has OT, most OT therapists are the ones that have the vibration plates. So if she does get OT, maybe you can try it at OT first to see if it works for her. Because
Well, what we
my
could
OT
do, we
therapist
could get it,
says
and
that,
then if our kids don't like it, we'll just drop it off at one of our clinics, and I'm
oh
sure that
yeah, you
some
could do
kid
that
there
too.
would enjoy it.
Yeah, that's true. I forget you have a clinic. Like,
We got a
not
few
that I forget
clinics.
that you have a
Yeah.
clinic, but
Yeah,
I
we
forget
go
that you
whenever
could
we
use it for
want. We
something
just go
else.
and like we have an indoor playground there. We have like unlimited
What
toys
a
and
dream. Kylan,
we
I
can
need you
just
to get
go.
on the opening of Nova, Alabama.
Yes. Oh,
I'll
And
Kenya,
work
thank
for
you.
Nova,
you.
That'd
I
be
don't
cool.
care. I'll
Arizona,
stay
I
there
will
all day
work
and
for
let
you if you
Hudson.
want me to. Like, I will help you. I will work for you. I will be your
Somebody
employee
save
if you.
Alabama. If anybody.
Hey, you know what? We're definitely going to expand. We have to first open our clinic in Salt Lake. That one we're opening. We should get keys in June. They're doing the remodels right now to it, and June we should. But yeah, it's a lot of fun, you guys. We're opening our 4th clinic. We do ABA all throughout Utah, and eventually we'll be all over. Destiny, Lexi, we'll be in Alabama. We'll be in Arizona. We'll get y'all taken care of. We'll come
Preferably
to
before Hudson
Kentucky.
goes to college.
Well, I can't make promises. I mean, that could be when he's 10. Who knows? Could be when he's 6. Could happen. You never know.
Panhandle of Texas is desperate for providers. And everybody's desperate for providers. Like they're paying RBTs like $12 an hour. It's ridiculous. BCBAs are making $26 an hour. That's ridiculous.
Oh,
That is
that's terrible.
ridiculous.
In
It's
Alabama,
terrible.
that's what
Nobody
they
wants.
pay? Oh my
Yes,
gosh.
that's why
What?
nobody wants to do it, and they can't find anybody.
That's wild. All right, you guys. We have passed our time. I love coming on here, you guys, but sadly, I do have to get back to work. But
Right.
thank you about being here. Eloise, I am so sorry. I've been seeing you on here. Please come back. I'll make sure that we get you up next time. It sounds like you have autism, or you think you might have autism, Eloise. But I want to make sure, come back tomorrow and we'll chat. I want to make sure I can give you the adequate time. So
Eloise, join the Discord and the Facebook as well. We're all in there and we can chat with you there too.
Yes. Discord and Facebook, links in bio. And yeah. All right. Thank you guys. Thank you for being here. Have a good one. See you tomorrow.
Bye. See ya.